Graduates Forum.
Good morning, the audience. New graduates, welcome back home. I'm very pleased to welcome you to the very first edition of Graduates Forum, which is a special event that bridges the past and the present, connecting our current students with the inspiring voices of SF's English Studies alumni from the last 4 years. I believe today it's more than just storytelling. It's rather about mentorship action. Along this day, our graduates would share their experiences, their triumphs, their challenges they have faced, and the lessons they have learned since they left these halls. So this event is structured as such. We have 4 panels. The first one gathers graduates with overseas experiences, either for studies or work. The second gathers graduates who joined CMFs. Then the afternoon, the third panel would show graduates with master's degrees, studies. Then last but not least, the very special panel would combine graduates with professional and corporate experiences. So dear students, listen, ask questions, take notes, and leave inspired. And dear returning graduates, thank you very much for lighting the way for these students. So let's start, everybody. I'd like to invite to the podium the speakers of the first panel, namely Hamza Shkad and Aya Ahbabi, and this panel will be moderated by Romesa Seri. Could you please warmly applaud them? Please.
Good morning, everyone. I am Romesa Seri, and I will be moderating this first panel with 5 of our distinguished SF graduates. Each of them has had a unique journey after graduation. Let's begin with our first speaker, Anas Khiyab. Anas Khiyab graduated from SF in 2024. He is pursuing his master's degree in China in the field of education. Anas, you have 15 minutes. I will let you know when you have 5 minutes left, and again when 2 minutes remain. Please go ahead. We will start with Hamza Shkad, first cohort graduate with honors, 25-year-old language teacher in Southeast Asia. He goes by many names. Vietnamese name, Zia Bao. English name, GC. And government name, Hamza Shkad. Hamza, we're delighted to have you with us. When you also have 15 minutes, I will tell you when you have 5 minutes, and then 2 minutes remain. Go ahead.
Thank you, Justice. Thank you, young lady. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Good to see some new faces, and especially the old faces, our old professors, old colleagues, old friends. So, I'm part of the first panel. We're gonna go through my experience as a graduate of the first ever cohort of SF in all of Morocco, finally. So I joined SF with the first cohort back in 2018. back in 2018. We graduated in 2021, so end of quarantine and COVID days, so it was quite the experience to be honest, but luckily enough, we had good coordination, professional professors and others, which helped us pursue our studies even though we spent a whole year basically in lockdown. After graduating, my first step was applying for CERMEF. Logically, we are teachers, so we want to indulge in that profession. But unfortunately, I was not even pre-selected. Though I graduated with honors, which is kind of weak. But after that first failure, I just joined the professional field. I started teaching at a couple of language centers, private language centers, some in Kenitra, others in Rabat, metropolitan area, Tmara, Tusare. Then moved to Casablanca, where I started my first MA program, Moroccan American Studies. I pursued that master's for the first semester, but then, unfortunately, I learned that in order to join the PhD, the pre-selection phase only focused on age, prioritized the older students, which is unfortunate because I was still 21 years old at the time, and everyone else was in their 40s and 50s. So I dropped out, and luckily enough, another master's program opened up here in Kenitra, the Culture and Gender Studies. I joined that for a couple of months, but had to abandon it as well, seeing that I could not pursue a PhD right after admission, which was something I was pretty keen on. After all of these failures, I was planning to just pursue my teaching in the private sector. I ended up moving to Vietnam at first. Scored a pretty decent job back in 2022, and salary as well. Hours, basically 20 to 22 hours a week, teaching a wide range of students from, I believe my youngest student was a year and a half, and my oldest was his age 50. Because, as some of you might know, working in Southeast Asia as a foreign EFL and ESL teacher involves both the public and the private sector. So during the day, I would teach at different public schools, from kindergartens to high schools. But then in the evening, I would have private sessions at private centers. Those private sessions went from prepping students for tests such as TOEIC, TOEFL, IELTS, to prepping them for masters and other projects, or even just basic communication and ESP, English for specific purposes, for business communication, especially for students pursuing their master's and PhD outside of Vietnam. Then unfortunately, I got into an accident last year, so I've been in Morocco for a couple of months now, but I'm going back soon and going to pursue my work in Vietnam, because frankly I enjoyed it, and I believe I will enjoy it way more than the job market here in Morocco, seeing that it's a bit too tough for Moroccan teachers, as you can see with recent events such as mainly violent events, unfortunate events at school, attacks, unprovoked attacks, unnecessary attacks, which is unfortunate, heartbreaking, but it is what it is. Not to risk any confrontations in Asia, one of my students from the youngest to the oldest, they're very respectful, very kind, very cooperative, and willing to learn, which is something I found was lacking in Morocco. Anything, if I could change anything about the education system in Morocco, it would probably be solving issues with students' motivation. But my aspirations, I still plan to pursue a PhD, probably in China, seeing the option outside of Morocco, and seeing that I am based mainly in Vietnam, so it's close, and Chinese education system is actually pretty easy. Unfortunately, I came back to Morocco expecting at least one MA program to have started at SF, delivered in English, but yet to be seen. But we can all dream, I guess, maybe time in the future, I hope. Sorry, I haven't been able to prepare much for the interview, but for the speech, but I would like to, I believe that we can move on to the second speaker, and I would hope to give you more valuable info in the discussion section. So thank you for your attendance. It's been a pleasure standing on in front of you. It's been a pleasure meeting all professors and friends, idols, and thank you.
Thank you, Hamza, for sharing your journey with us. He never passed the selection of fates of Suriname since 2021. He started 2 master's programs, Moroccan American Studies in Casablanca, then Culture and Gender Studies in Kenitra, and dropped both to move, live, and work with his wife, Filipina, in Vietnam. Now, let's welcome our next speaker of this session, Suhaib Bala, also joining us virtually. Suhaib Bala graduated from SF last year and joined the master program in education, teaching English as a foreign language in Jiang Province, China. So you have 15 minutes to share your insights, and I will time you when there are 5 and 2 minutes left.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here today, and it's a pleasure to see you all. I really hope you can hear me well, because as you can see, I am outside. I couldn't make it home in time, simply because I had an engagement with the university. So, hello everyone, and as we say in Chinese, 大家好. Quite a pleasure to be here, and quite a pleasure to see my old professors and some of the old familiar faces. Many of my friends are sitting there today, and many of them are here to enjoy and to witness our experiences and see what we have done in life. I hope you can see me and hear me well. Alright, so where did my story begin? Honestly, with ESIT, my story began after I graduated from my baccalaureate degree. Once I finished, if you can remember, in my final speech in the public speaking competition, honestly, I was not great at anything. I was not great at mathematics, I was not great at physics or any specific thing. So I had no idea what to do in life. I had no idea what I wanted to become. Therefore, I applied for everything, every single university I can. And amongst them, I had a couple of choices. One of them was ESIF. ESIF was very far away from me simply because it was in Cleba and my family lived in Oujda at that time. So I consulted my family and I told them about the schools I had. And my dad said, "You're good at English, you can speak well." And he knows this, since most of my family members can speak very good English. So he told me, "Why don't you do that?" Yes? Did you say something, Professor? No, okay. Thank you so much. So then I told him, yes, it is actually a good idea. And then he told me it would be a very good idea if you go live alone for a couple of years, simply because for him, man should have the opportunity to try and live alone without the shelter of family. So that's exactly what I did. My bags, said goodbye to my family, and I came and I lived in the Chevy dormitory. And honestly, it was quite a crazy experience. Well, let's begin by Chevy. Chevy had many ups and downs. Some of the ups are you have a lot of friends in there. Everyone, simply because everyone would be students there, so you see familiar faces all the time. Some of the downs were noise. People would steal your food or steal your bags and stuff. There were many times I've been, oh my God, I've lost so many things in the kitchen, from Ireland, from so many places. So you had to learn how to be able to witness your surroundings, know whom to trust and whom not to trust, know who your friends are and who's going to steal your food. So I've lived there for 3 years. And in those 3 years, I've learned so many things I cannot begin to explain. But how to speak to others, how to engage in conversation, how to be a sociable person, not only in English, but in Arabic and French as well. Simply because I met people from various backgrounds, people from my city, people from other cities I've lived in, other people from very different places that speak different dialects or different versions of Persian. So that's why I grew to understand them more. I grew to understand the differences I had. And then there was Ezek. Ezek for me was a phenomenal experience. First of all, we have the professors. Thank you so much for everything. I cannot thank you enough. I honestly cannot, no matter how long I speak. I know I only have 10 to 15 minutes, but in order to thank you all, I need, you know, I can't say it's okay. Anyhow, so we used to study in the first semester. We studied approximately, we had 8 hours a day, I think. Yes, 8 hours a day. And almost every day we had a presentation. So while the semester was going to end, I have had a lot of experiences in standing and presenting and speaking to audiences, classmates, for multiple hours. I remember a presentation with the professor Amina that lasted, I think, 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. Which means you had to speak for so long, and therefore you had to know how to improvise, how to speak fluently, how to reduce fillers, and how to find what to say in a certain context. And then there would come the questions, so you'd have to find a way to answer them and find a way to squeeze your brain and your mind in order to find the correct words for the question you're going to be asked. I have learned so much in Ezek. I have improved my level in English greatly, and I have a certificate in English in order to come to China. And while studying Ezek, my initial plan was going into teaching. I was planning on teaching simply because I'm not young, I want to make money, and I want to be independent. But then I started working in the internship and working in private centers, teaching English. And there I was struck with the realization of how difficult it is to teach in Morocco. Teaching in Morocco is a very, very, very demanding job. It demands patience, it demands a good level of English, it demands flexibility, so many things that you should acquire over time. That's why I encourage you all to pay attention to your internship and make sure you learn a lot from it. Otherwise, once you go and start actually working, you will realize the difference between the theoretical aspects of studying and teaching and then the practical applications of teaching. Many of the things you will learn, you will apply, but you should know how to apply them exactly in terms of the context you will be placed in. And then after 3 years of internship and working from here and there, and then I had the great opportunity of becoming I wouldn't call it a teacher, a mentor, a guide for public speaking in the university in Ezek. That was a marvelous experience, a club that I am very proud of being a part of and speak up This is a hello to all stick-up members, and I can see the videos, I can see the progress, and I can see that they managed to take the flame and the torch and continue expanding towards Morocco with the Ismail, Marrakesh, and then many of the universities until the Big of Morocco, making sure that everyone knows that it all began from Ezef Calendar. They started from a simple idea, making sure people were going to sleep, and now it's everywhere in Morocco, and everyone, they're very famous on the social media platforms. And then, in semester 5, on a random payment, very random payment, I was going to Enes's house. It was me and Enes and him. We went to his house and we found his brother there. And his brother told us words I can never forget. Do you guys want to have dinner? And we said yes. So they brought a fully roasted chicken. A roasted chicken with fries and everything soda. It was a huge feast. We sat down and we started talking, eating and talking. And at that moment, my whole perspective on life changed. We were talking about him in particular. And what do you study? What did you do? What do you do for a living? And then he told me, actually, I studied my master's in China. I said, oh, that's nice, China. That was the first time the idea popped up in our minds. It was because thanks to his brother. And then he started asking us, why don't you go teach in China? Teaching abroad is a very good thing. Teaching in Asia is a very profitable domain, profitable field of work. And we said, can we do this? Is it possible? He said, yes, of course, why not? And then we said, we're in. Let's apply. My initial plan was going to apply to different things. Apply to China, apply to masters in Morocco, then apply to teaching in Morocco, and see which one I get. Whatever I get, the first option I have, I will pursue. And thankfully, the first one was China. Simply because the applications were very early. I think it was this one, July, maybe July or March. I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember exactly. Probably March, yeah. So in March, I started going to the administration, getting my papers and everything, translating them into English, getting a certificate, because our major is in China, it's education, teaching English as a foreign language. And in order to do that, you need at least C1 or C2 in English. So I needed a certificate that says that I have a C1 or C2. Thankfully, I got that. We got that C2. Which means I'm good. I had everything I needed, all the papers, every document, everything I had, so I can apply. And then we gave them to Enes's brother, and he helped us so much with the application forms and simply because the things are in Chinese and the websites are very hard to come by, and especially knowing which university I'm going to, which city, which province. And alhamdulillah, we have a good one. Zhejiang province is the biggest province, the best one where the entire GDP is here. All the major cities, Shanghai, Hangzhou, all the big cities there. So that is all. We applied and we sat down and waited until we got our response. Our response was, alhamdulillah, yes, you are accepted to come to China and study postgraduate in education. Therefore, we gathered other documents, everything was in Chinese and had to translate everything again. And we headed to the embassy. And firstly, Chinese visa is very easy to get. You don't need anything, you just need a couple of papers the university would send you, and then a document that says you're not a criminal, etc. We would go to the embassy. I waited, I think 2 days. Yes, 2 days. 2 days, I got my visa. When I got my visa, I remember the date clearly. It was me, and it was with Leonard H. Leaves. I think she's there, she's present over there. Leonard H. Leaves, and then there was Leonard also, Leonard and Leonard. We were together in Lvov, and they went with me to the embassy and we got the passport, and we celebrated together. It was a lovely day, I'll never forget it. And we bought matching necklaces. I still have the necklace right now, it's under one time. Violin and a guitar. Anyhow, so after that, I had to go back to the city, to Ujda, pack my bags, get everything. And fly all the way to China. The flight was very exhausting, but very funny. Simply because I was sitting right next to them. The whole way, cracking jokes.
4 minutes.
Okay, cracking jokes. And then after we landed in China, our experience was dazzling. Everything was amazing, and everything is green. For example, I'll show you around. In our city, where everything is green. Like I was told you before that everywhere you go, there are parks and places to see. That it is true. I can't smell the smell of gasoline. I can't hear a lot of noise when I go out. Everything is quiet and simple. Life is simply amazing. In terms of our studies in China, it was very engaging, simply because we had the opportunity to engage with people from various countries and various backgrounds. And I managed to use everything I learned in SF. For example, I became the official host for all events in my university. So every time there is an event in any way, shape, or form, because that's my Chinese name, Kalai, I would have to come in order to host it. And they noticed our level in English, especially in Chinese. Simply because you would find people from other countries with a very strong accent, either African accent or Asian accent. However, for us, it was quite different. So they love it. And in my university, there aren't a lot of native speakers, not a lot of Brits or Americans. So for us, we have less of a competition in terms of English. And in terms of the Chinese language, I find it honestly not difficult. It's as difficult as they say. What is difficult is the characters. Writing and reading, yes, that is difficult simply because it's so different from what you know and from all the languages you speak. However, in terms of speaking, all you have to do is have Chinese friends. That's all you need. Like right now, I am honestly in a wedding. I sent the picture of the wedding to many people who are there in the group of SF, the one we had back in time. So I am in the wedding and I'm going to perform Shaggy. Because I play the violin, and I'm going to play them a song of Shaggy in a Chinese wedding. So our experiences are very random. Things that happen here. And like, some people will not believe them. I am here to study, then my friend called me for the wedding of his sister, then I have to go to a Chinese wedding where I know nobody, and I have to perform in front of them, speak Chinese to them, have fun all day, and then go back to my house. So it was phenomenal. I would like to thank everyone who was there when I used to study. And I welcome all people who are new in Egypt. Enjoy it, because those 3 years go by very fast. And enjoy your professors, because I can assure you, you will never find as good a professor anywhere in any other country. Like every time I come here, I always compare their level to yours. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for allowing me this platform to speak. I wish you all a great day ahead, and I can see members of the administration coming in and the hall.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Suhaib, for your thoughtful contribution. During his time at SF, he dreamed of becoming an influential educator and contributing to the development of education systems. He worked hard on his academic and personal growth. Although he also faced challenges and missed some opportunities along the way, after graduation, he continued his studies in China, where he's currently pursuing a postgraduate degree in education. His research focuses on curriculum developments in higher education, particularly comparing systems in higher education in Morocco and China. Looking ahead, he plans to pursue a PhD and contribute to educational reform and innovation in both countries. Next, let's stay connected to Southeast Asia and welcome our third speaker, Walid Aitbenallah, also joining us online. Walid Aitbenallah, former student at SF Kenitra. Upon graduation, he applied for both SERNEF and some master's degree doing Salta in Turkey, which led to starting an international career. Currently, he's teaching English as a second language in Vietnam. Wendy, just like the others, you have 15 minutes to share your journey. I will let you know when you have 5 and 2 minutes left. Please begin.
Alright, hi guys, hope you can hear me well. Alright, before I start, I have to say it's nice to see you again. Unfortunately, I did not see you face to face. We couldn't make that happen. So, but it's nice to see you again. Alright, without further ado, so after graduating from IESA, just like most Moroccan students, I thought my options were either like a master's degree or CERMEF. Yeah, or CERMEF. Then I applied. I was more interested in starting my career, and I only applied to 2 master's degrees, namely gender studies and TEFL. But unfortunately, I didn't get accepted in either. And I'll be lying if I didn't say that it was a bit devastating at the time, because I really prepared hard to secure a spot, mainly in CERMEF, because I wanted to be more financially independent. But yeah, I mean, I was hit by a reality check, and yeah, I just thought that I would wait for the following year. Thankfully, I've been able to contact my professors, namely Professor Khalil, who I can see here today, and Professor Qaderi, who I've contacted them, and they have given me like precious advice, and I was advised to follow a CELTA program. I really thank my professors' advice, because their piece of advice helped me shape my life the way it is now. So thank you very much for your advice. And yeah, so at that time, I chose to follow a CELTA degree. Namely, I had 2 options, either do a CELTA in Turkey or in Spain. So I got accepted in both in Turkey and Spain. First, I was more interested in Spain. And it was so complex to get a visa for it, and I ended up even securing a spot. I paid to secure a spot in Salta, but I couldn't go because of the visa thing. So I ended up going to Turkey and studying there for a month. Now, Salta was like a magnificent experience for me. It was the content we studied there, it was easy. Everything, we covered everything in the IESA. However, the hard part was the practical one. So in Salta, you learn how to make lesson plans, how to teach. You have a lot of duties make lesson plans, finish your assignments, make language analysis, and then make presentations to teach students. So that was the hardest part. And the hardest part was doing all this practical stuff and then finishing them up at limited amount of time. So, but yeah, after 1 month, I was able to get my CELTA, and as I said, it was a beautiful experience. I've met a lot of people from all over the world. They've given me different insights. They showed me how to look at things from a different perspective. And yeah, I really love it, and I really encourage, if you are able, just try and follow a CELTA program. You can learn a lot of things, and it will help you become a better teacher. But yeah, so after finishing my CELTA, I went back home, and here, I was so, I didn't know what to do after that. I was thinking about in Morocco, or just try to get an international career. So I was very hesitant, I didn't know. So I decided to keep it up and leave it for faith, and I applied everywhere. So I applied in Morocco, I applied outside Morocco, and I just waited for anything to come. And yeah, my first interview was with an international school in Russia. Unfortunately, I didn't get accepted again because I lacked experience. So I changed some stuff in my resume, and I started applying again. And I was able to get another interview with a center here in Vietnam, in a province here in Vietnam. And after long story short, I ended up coming here to Vietnam. And yeah, I was again hit by reality, as teaching here in Vietnam was so different from teaching in other countries. I came to the realization that people here are running a business. So you are not just a teacher. You have to think about a lot of things other than just teaching. So I had to change a lot of things about me, about the way I teach, and about me personally. And yeah, I wouldn't describe my first experience here or my first job here to be the most positive, as like the center that I came with like struggled financially, and so they delayed my start, and I didn't get my salary on time, and I had to think about a lot of things, and it was so stressful. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, you just try to keep your faith on God, and then you just try to keep going. So yeah, after working with them for like 2 to 3 months, the moment I got my first salary, I resigned. I resigned after getting my first salary because at the time I was like trying to get a better job. So yeah, luckily the moment I got my first salary, at the same day I remember I got an email from another center here in the capital of Vietnam saying that I got the job. So I sent an email, I resigned, even though I still owed the previous center 1 month salary. I couldn't do it anymore, and I just resigned from my ex-employer. Then, it was then when my story like took a positive change. I came here to the capital of Vietnam. Now I have a better job, and yeah, like I had to invest a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie, I invested a lot of money, and I had to keep faith in God. And yeah, now thank God, like I'm able to give back to my family and for their help. And yeah, if I was to give you any piece of advice, it would be just, I would say plan your life, but always like don't get devastated if your plan doesn't work. I mean, at the end of the day, like you make plans, but God is the best of planners. So you will make plans and everything in life, but some of your plans will not work. So just try to keep going and just try to find a plan B for your life. And that's all. I mean, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much for listening.
For that very insightful reflection. So, after graduating, just like the majority of students, he waited for the CERNF and master's exams. But, unfortunately, he was not selected. Then he tried to know what his options were. He was advised to take the CELTA course, which was beneficial and a bit stressful. After 1 month, he managed to get his certificate and started looking at jobs abroad. After researching and applying to multiple positions, he got hired by an English center in Vietnam. Unfortunately, he didn't have a good experience with it. Teaching in Vietnam was different, and he had to understand that people are running a business. So he had to change a lot of things about the way he teaches. Though he faced a lot of difficulties with them, he kept going for about 4 months. He tried to learn as much as he could and resigned as soon as he got an offer from another company. Now, he has been working for the same company for about a year and 2 months, and so far, it's good. Now, let's move to our next speaker, Enes Riyad. Enes Riyad graduated from ESEF in 2024. He is pursuing his master's degree in China in the field of education. Enes, you have 15 minutes. I will let you know when you have 5 minutes, and again when 2 minutes remain. Please go ahead.
Hello everyone, I hope that you can hear me well. Okay. So I would like to thank you, like Professor, for having us all here today, like to hear the old days, but the world problem. I would like to divide my speech like in 3 parts. The pre-ESEF, the ESEF, and the post-ESEF. The pre-ESEF was, Enes was like a normal student to me. He had a good English, he had a good English, but not like as much as when he graduates from ESEF. But when I got my baccalaureate degree, I didn't want to go like away from home. I just wanted to stay like close to my home. Like the farthest that I can do, like Rabat, just like something like university or I found like I applied for many programs. I I remember. In Seychelles, in South, others. But honestly, I didn't go for it. Just like at the very end, I saw the notice of ESEF. And it was actually my dad who like the person to apply for it. I was already like it. Like sponsorship, you can do it. But alright, let's apply for it. And I did. Fortunately, it was the school who accepts me. So, like while ESEF, I remember the first year was scary. Like with these three, I will never forget three courses, like phonetics, parts of speech, and study skills. The first one, phonetics, with the professor. I remember the very first class. Like the content was so weird. Like it was so different from what I used to. Like plosives, like the manner of articulation, great articulation, like that, not as we have normal. I remember at the end of the final exam, so sure about having a good mark. But I remember I had mine 75. Like my level wasn't that bad, but not as much as I think. So I got mine 75. It was a fun experience to be honest. Like it's the only mark that I had under 10. I remember the second one was with your professor Kadir. It was part of speech. I remember my very first presentation. With my hand in my pocket, and I started like it. And I gave my back to the pocket. I thought that I looked cool, you know, like my hand in my pocket and speaking like comfortably. Actually, it wasn't like the right approach. Like I should like face my audience and talk like more confidently. And the third one was like with Professor Latif in study skills. It was the first time that we used like IT stuff, like Mentimeter, I guess, the website. Everyone was so surprised, like using their phone actually to answer the questions and everything. It was like something very, I would say, advanced for us, because like we used just to write with pen and paper. So the first year was like a very good year, to be honest. Like I realized many flaws in my English. Especially like parts of speech. I remember like this rock's presentation was the best presentation like ever before. So like I started to gain like more understanding about like how to do written thinking, how to practice my speech. The second year, I guess like I realized after graduation that we as the 2024 cohorts, we matured as a core method. The first one we didn't have a school, like we were studying like in where like master and doctorate students used to study. The second year we moved to ESEF as our school, but it was just like just the interest, and then like the big square we weren't allowed to go in it. The third year. The whole school was open to us. So I felt like we grow with the school. For the second year, I remember like it was the composition part, especially paragraph writing. I remember like Professor Qadiri, like the square, 5 squares, I guess. Yeah, 5 square composition. Like, and in the middle you should do like the main idea, develop this report, develop and conclude this. Like with all like growing as English, like as students of English, of an English major. And the one that really surprised me was also with Professor Ali, like linguistics. It was the first time that I heard about something called linguistics. And like applied linguistics, it was something that I really like internalized it. Because like phonetics, it was a good, to be honest, which was so hard for me. Like the first experience was a bad experience. My feelings wasn't as good as thought. So with linguistics, it was a good experience. It wasn't hard, but it was like how can I say, exciting. like the more you learn about it, more you start to become like more advanced. You have a way to. I felt like it's more like. So I started doing linguistics, and I had to do my graduation thesis in like linguistics. The third year, I remember everyone said it. Well, like just 2 months. First semester was just like 1 month. The second semester was just like it was so fast. We didn't feel the time. I guess maybe we got used to it, or like I don't know, to be honest. Like everybody felt it, like it went by so fast. During the last semester of the third year, like as Sohail explained, it was a day when my brother like had a day off, and actually Ala and Sohail like came to my house, and we were alone. My parents weren't at home, so we had like a night together, and we suggested they want to have like a fried chicken, a roasted chicken. Everybody said yes. Of course, we won't say it. So like they invited us, like we had a roasted chicken there with fries, and like it was like a big feast. And we started like talking about our future, what we would do, like what do we have in mind and everything. We suggested the idea of China. And it was actually like a good idea. It was intent, but we weren't sure of it because like China so far, especially for me. Okay, after 21 years, like when I said that I went to my parents, they were surprised. 21 years near to my parents, just like one day, I go like to far, like the country in the world, like when it comes to Morocco. So we started applying in March. Yeah, we started applying in March, and we got the result in June. Yeah, we got the results in June. So that's it. So that was like the whole experience. I remember like coming to China, like we landed in Shanghai. Everything looks so big. Believe me, the roads are so big, the buildings are so big, and everything is so big. Like it took 10 minutes, like I said 10 minutes, and I started looking around. Just like how we were born. So that's the whole experience, honestly. Like it shaped me, to be honest. These 3 years were very transformative. I guess not only for me, but for you. So thank you for listening to me, and I hope.
Thank you so much, Anas. Yeah. Well, and he claims that his bachelor's degrees here were the best and have shaped who he is now, and he was eager to share his experience. Before moving to our last speaker of this panel, I would like to give the floor to our fabulous Mrs. Benkiran, SF Vice Director, Madame Benkiran. The floor is yours.
Merci infiniment. Je suis désolée pour le retard. Donc, j'avais une autre réunion, mais je devais normalement donner mon mot au début. Mais heureusement que ça ne s'est pas fait. Pourquoi? Parce que j'ai eu l'occasion de voir, d'assister à quelques témoignages des étudiants qui ont pris un parcours international. Je suis très émue. Très émue, vous ne savez pas ce qui se passe à l'intérieur. Je vais vous dire pourquoi. Parce que finalement, on se dit, et moi là maintenant, c'était pas prévu, je ne savais pas ce qui allait se passer, comment allait se passer la rencontre, l'événement que prépare Sirhaderi et toute l'équipe depuis plusieurs semaines. Mais je suis très fière de ce que j'ai vu. Parce que je me dis, finalement, tous les efforts que nous faisons, tous les problèmes que nous rencontrons, pour avoir un niveau de nos lauréats comme ça, un niveau de grandes écoles, je suis très fière et je suis très contente de voir le niveau de nos lauréats à ce point-ci, avec celui qui est garanti par la qualité de leur formation. Si ces lauréats n'ont pas eu une qualité de formation assurée par un staff pédagogique excellent, vous avez la chance d'avoir une très belle équipe pédagogique, donc de très bons enseignants, et regardez le résultat. Le résultat, on l'a entendu, on l'a vu. Il y a des lauréats qui ont eu un parcours international. Je sais qu'il y a des lauréats, d'ailleurs la majorité d'entre vous sont pris, réussissent le concours d'intégration des CRMF. Plusieurs lauréats donc intègrent des masters nationaux ou internationaux, mais de très haut niveau. Donc ils concourent. Et là, je reviendrai au témoignage de Anas Riyad. Ça m'a fait plaisir de revoir Soheil, Anas et les autres. Hamza, excusez-moi, je ne retiens pas tous les noms, mais ça m'a fait plaisir de les revoir. Et Anas, il a parlé, il a dit au début quand il a eu son baccalauréat, donc ce qui était dans la tête de ses parents et dans sa tête, et le projet pour lui, c'était d'intégrer une école d'ingénieur, ou l'école de médecine, la l'ENCG, l'ENSA. Après, donc, les F, c'est venu par hasard. Donc il s'est dit pourquoi pas, avec son père, donc je vais postuler pour les F, et ça a marché, il ne le regrette pas. Mais quand vous faites normalement, pourquoi? Parce qu'on ne communique pas très souvent sur les débouchés de l'ESF. C'est vrai que nous formons les futurs enseignants anglais de toutes les spécialités, mais aujourd'hui, on est en train de fêter, de célébrer nos lauréats de la filière études anglaises, mais lorsque il n'y a pas que ça, il n'y a pas que devenir enseignant du secondaire, enseignant au niveau des collèges et des lycées. Non, vous l'avez bien vu. Donc je sais qu'il y a plusieurs lauréats qui ont fait carrière à l'international, en Chine, en Philippines, à Londres. Je sais, Philippines, toi aussi, Vietnam, voilà. Donc est-ce qu'il y en a d'autres qui sont dans d'autres pays? Angleterre, oui, Vietnam, donc Chine, c'est extraordinaire. Et puis, plusieurs lauréats, est-ce qu'ils sont là, les lauréats qui ont intégré les CRMF, les centres qui Levez la main, s'il vous plaît. Donc, vous avez intégré en deuxième année ou la troisième? Première année ou deuxième année? Première année? Très bien. Donc, vous voyez, les étudiants qui sont présents, il n'y a pas que ça. Donc, les autres ne sont pas là parce qu'ils enseignent. C'est sûr, ils sont en train de travailler. Donc, ceux qui sont là, c'est uniquement ceux qui ont pu se libérer ou qui n'ont pas d'enseignement. Donc, je suis très, très contente. Je suis très contente de voir que nos lauréats ont la cote, j'ose le dire, ont la cote, donc c'est un langage familier, on ne peut pas s'exprimer comme ça, mais vous avez la cote. Vous avez la cote à l'échelle nationale, vous avez la cote à l'échelle internationale, vous êtes pris, vous êtes très demandé, et donc tous les efforts, tous les problèmes, كل شيء تنساوه بحال وليداتنا ملي تنشوفوا وليداتنا الحمد لله تيوصلوا وتيديروا داكشي اللي بغاو صافي داكشي كلشي اللي تعبناه حنا كإدارة ولا كأساتذة ديالكم ولا كلشي donc on oublie tout, on est très content, on est très heureux. Alors je voudrais à travers vous féliciter vos enseignants, les enseignants qui sont d'un niveau académique et d'un niveau de recherche qui est très très élevé. Je voudrais les remercier du fond du cœur pour tout ce qu'il faut, et plus particulièrement au Stade Adélie pour cette activité, cette belle activité. C'est une première, c'est la première édition, mais comme je lui disais, il faut qu'on fasse ça au niveau de toutes les filières. C'est très très important. Et on va utiliser les témoignages des lauréats, Lida Zoudaba. J'ai demandé à Tara, que je remercie infiniment, je lui ai dit tu zoomes, tu prends, tu me sors les témoignages. Pourquoi? Ces témoignages de chaque lauréat, on va travailler dessus avec le service com qui est ici présent, et on va communiquer autour de ça pour les générations futures, pour les promotions futures, les bacheliers, les nouveaux bacheliers qui vont choisir la première étude anglaise. Et ils vont rentrer au niveau du site, au niveau de nos réseaux, la page Facebook, la page Instagram et tout, ils vont voir, ils vont écouter les témoignages, donc ça va les inciter à venir. Donc il ne faut pas choisir les élèves par hasard. On ne doit pas être un dernier choix. On est le premier choix et on va continuer à être le premier choix. Merci infiniment.
Madame qui a pour votre parole.
Ihlabi. Aya Ihlabi graduated from EZEF 2022. We are eager to listen to her sharing her descent experience. Aya, just like the others, you have 15 minutes. I will give you a heads up when there are 5 and 2 minutes left. Please take it.
Hello everyone. How are you feeling? Excited, scared, tempting, happy? How do you feel? Anyone excited? Raise your hands. Ooh. Yes. So today I'd like to start with a game. First, I would love to divide this stage into 3. Now each part will symbolize a person, and each person has his own color. So each person has his own story. Let's suppose the first person's name is Shayma. Shayma comes from a poor background, and maybe she has 3 siblings too, and her dream or her goal is to get into CMF so that she can save her family from poverty. And then we have our second person. Let's name him Walid. Walid is dreaming, and he would love to go to CMF just for financial freedom because he wants time to travel and he wants money to finance that. And then we have our third person. Let's name her Hiba. So we can say Hiba is ambitious and she wants to get both a master's degree and CMF. And mostly this type of person had a very supportive family that's made her believe that once she wants something, she can get it. So we have the first person. She is fearless, determined, hardworking, self-sacrificing, anxious, desperate, independent, emotionally burdened. Who can relate to this person? Okay. I'm one of these people, by the way. I'm one of it. Alright. Self-sacrificing people trying to save their family. And then we have the second person. Adventurous, optimistic, independent, but impatient, escape-oriented, no long-term planning. Who's this person? Okay, we have this here. Oh yes, we have a mixture. And then the last person, ambitious, confident, strategic, resourceful, but perfectionist, self-expectant, afraid of failure. Because you cannot be a perfectionist without being scared of failure. Alright, yes, that's good. So my speech will be to all of you, and I want you to really listen to this. So, people who have this perspective and who have one goal, whether to get to CMF or to get a master's degree, view life from a very small goal. So if we were to put your perspective in an image, it would be this. It's like a person ignoring all the way
cool, very open-minded, and everyone had his own perspective, and they were very skeptical. I'll take you back to 3 years ago, exactly the day of our graduation. So all of us, me and all of the other students, started preparing to get a master's degree and CNF. We started preparing way before our graduation because some master degrees open before graduation, just for you to know. And I started working hard. We worked on all the assignments from 2010 till 2021. Some of them were hard, some of them were easy, but we wanted to get that. The day of the exams, I thought I was ready. I was like, okay, I'm gonna need it. We will get it. All of us will be teachers. All of us we will try to do a master's degree and CNF at the same time. Sadly, I tried the first exam, I failed. The second one, I failed. And the third one, I passed the written one. In the oral, I panicked. Now that was my fault. But in the CNF, I didn't even qualify because of age. I believe the age back then was over 21, I was still 20. So I didn't get there. And I was working hard, believing that all my hard work will pay off. Failure after failure. And I was like, okay, your goal is not really teaching. Your goal is to go abroad. So I have to save as much money as I can. So I found this opportunity which is called Native Camp. It's a good one for you guys. It's a teaching platform if you want to work online. And you have to pass 5 tests. Some of them are easy, some of them are hard. I started working in Native Camp. The thing about opportunities is when you are not prepared for them, you don't really know how to use them. So I was working 12 hours a day, every day, no days off, no breaks, no nothing. And my aim was to save money as soon as possible and go, because I was disappointed in the educational system. So in 12 hours a day, 30 days, I would make 10,800. And I used to brag about it to my friends. I'm like, oh, you got accepted in CNF, but I'll be making more money. And this is true, by the way. So I had 2 options, succeed or die. Sadly, I was so serious about it. It was really for me, succeed or die. I didn't have another option. And after 2 months, as expected, I had a burnout. So I started developing anxiety. It started with the first idea, which is I failed. I failed CNF, I failed the master degree, I wasted 3 years, and even the money I was working to save, I used it to study German language, and that money was wasted. So like, I failed. I have to go abroad. I can't go out. I have to work more. So no going out, no eating food, no buying clothes, just saving. I'm 20. I must be in my first year of CNF. I wanted to be a millionaire by the age of 23. 12 hours are not enough. I used to work 12 hours, and for me, no, it's not enough. I need to work more. Don't do this. I have to save money. I have no support, because back then I really told us I have no support, no family support, because the thing about the Moroccan family, they reverse motivate you. They don't motivate you for the right reasons, but in a very bad way. I don't deserve to live. So it first started with I failed, and it moved to I don't deserve to live. And that was the accumulation of years and months of burning and trying to do something in a very limited time. And the moment came where I just thought, okay, I don't deserve to live. As I said, 2 options, succeed or die. And then I attempted suicide. Luckily, I was saved. I was saved and taken to a psychiatrist There are plenty of options that you can go for. So the Persian taught me that I had no perspective on my own. I had the dreams of my parents. I was living with the books of everyone else. I did not explore all the other options. Then, when I managed to develop a new perspective, I managed to get a new life. First, I applied to UK, and I remember 3 years earlier when I told my parents I want to go abroad, they said, "What? Abroad?" Back then it was Germany, it was Nationalunion. And they told me, "Nationalunion? أجيبك أنا Nationalunion, okay, I'm no wow." And then the day I proved to them, because after my depression, after healing, I started working extra hours, saving, and I proved to them that, okay, I can do it, I am responsible. And my mother met someone by coincidence, it was a total coincidence. That's what Walid called God's timing. It's when you are really. And that person told my mother about England. And for England, you need 13 million. It's no more than 9 million. And she came to me and she said, "You know, there is an opportunity in England." And I told her, "Really, how much?" She said, 13 million. I was like, "Oh, but I عندك 30 million." She said, "لا ما عنديش look at that." Oh my God, let's get that. This is like so much sacrifice. And I never felt more responsible than ever. And that motivated me to work harder. I'll move to England. I got accepted. I started working. Now, the thing that you don't know about studying and working abroad is that you have to study your master degree. ما كاينش ديك ديال غادي تخلص هذا الماستر غتنجح. إلا ما نجحتيش غادي تسقط من المغرب. So either غادي تنجح, whether you pay or you don't pay, you have to succeed. At the same time, since I left my parents in debt, so they don't have money, so I had to finance my own living, like paying for rent, for food, and trying to save money. And sometimes I would work 14 hours, 15 hours, which means minutes, but usually sometimes working. At the same time, you have to pass your master degree. At the same time, because you have to heal, because I was still healing from depression and anxiety. And yes, I still struggle, normal, but again, all of the hard work pays off. It pays off on the right time, whenever you're ready. I must have been غادي يحط في يديك الفلوس ولا شي opportunity وانت مازال ما موجودش ليها حيت you gonna abuse it. ما غتعرفش تعمل بها. كيف ما داز انا في native camp مثلا 12 ساعة كل نهار. You don't know how to do it. And yes, after my master degree, I started applying to jobs. Jobs, الغلط اللي did the first time was I gave up once I failed. Now this time I had two options. Either I succeed or either I succeed. There is no dying. علاش؟ حيت success ما عندوش one face, عنده plenty of faces. You can succeed in many ways. So I applied to 345 jobs. I got rejected from 320, وتقبلت only one of them. This was only one of them. And that's with a master degree. And you can imagine the process of applying to jobs, assessments. Most of the rejections were, if I am an international student, I don't have the visa, or sometimes they put their own people first, British people first. And yes, that was the day I got accepted from Amazon. Now this offer was the one I least expected, because I remember when I was doing the assessments, I was like, okay, yes, maybe, no, maybe, and I got accepted, and it was the most suitable job for me. So now I manage a team of over 50 people, which is really good for my age and my experience, and they will give me a job offer after my internship. So the purpose of this meeting is to give you more options. I prepared a list of options that you can all work on depending on your goal. If your goal is financial safety, then the first option. Financial freedom, like you want to travel at the same time work, you have plenty of programs. And self-improvement. So it's like plans for boats,
graduated from Aylan Karabi graduated from ESEF in 2022. She then embarked on a year-long adventure of teaching online, collecting unpaid overtime hours, and developing an impressive coffee tolerance. Somewhere in between lesson plans and existential crises, she found time to caution all of her life choices, as one does. But she made it through, and she is here today, miraculously still standing and smiling. Thank you to all our speakers for sharing such an inspiring and diverse experiences. Now, we would like to open the floor for questions from the audience. Please keep your questions straight to the point, as we are limited on time. We will be taking only 8 questions. If you would like to ask something, please raise your hand and we will note down your names on our paper. Once we have the list, we will bring the microphone to you so you can ask your question directly. Then our speakers will respond. Let's begin. Who wants to ask a question? It's you, Sam. Marwa. It's okay. Last one, yes, your name please. Mus'ab. Okay, Mus'ab. Yusra Shima, Manal, Marwa Sukaila, Manal, Anas Mus'ab.
Hello everyone. So my name is Yusra Ibrahim and I'm a essay student. First of all, thank you dear professor for this opportunity and thank you for all the speakers for being present here and sharing your experiences with us. My question today is for Aya. First of all, thank you for sharing and for not keeping anything from us. And my question is, how did you feel about the switch from being an English major to business management? Thank you.
You note down questions, then you answer them later. Next one. Do you have names?
Yes, I have.
Please, next one.
Next one is Shayma. Shayma.
Good morning, everyone. We are indeed delighted to hear all those experiences. So my question is basically for the one who are working in China.
Let's make sure they can hear us. Anas? Suhail? Anas? Suhail?
Yes, Professor. Yes, sir. I'm afraid I can't hear any of the questions.
Okay, then Shayma, I think you should come closer. You can't hear us from the speakers, so we should get close.
No, honestly, I can't hear the questions really well. I can
No, this is the first question for both of you and Anas. Okay, Suhail? No, you don't mind. Come here. But do your best. Yes.
Hello, Anas and Suhail. So my question is, what are the challenges that should a female teacher or students in general should expect from life or living in China or any Asian country?
Was that clear, Suhail?
I'm sorry, what can you repeat, please?
I asked about the challenges that should a female teacher expect while living in China or any Asian country.
Like the question is a bit like I will answer it like just on China. China is very safe, honestly.
Anas, please.
Like
Anas.
China is among the
Anas,
I'm sorry.
take notes of the questions. The ones who are behind the floor. You will answer all of them. Thank you, Shema. So if you have any questions for the ones joining us online.
Next, Manan. Manan.
My question is for Waleed, concerning, because you said that you applied online for the job, and then when you got accepted, you went there, right? So my question is about the papers, the visa, etc. Did you just, when you got accepted, you just went there, like you are the one who applied for your own visa, or the Vietnamese center helped you somehow with the papers? Did you hear me?
Make sure they heard you.
Wait, 1 second. Just to confirm, you asked about the visa to come here to Vietnam?
Yes.
Yeah, so like your question is, did I get any help to get the visa?
Yes. Like
Yeah, alright. Okay, got it.
Thank you.
Next, Marwa.
Hello, my question to Mr. Shigrad, right? Yes. So thank you for your insights. My question is, what difficulties did you encounter in Vietnam? And do you advise us in teaching in Asian countries in general? I also have a question concerning what role does your family play in your career now? Thank you.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Next is Sukaina.
Hello, my name is Sukaina. I would like first to express my sincere thanks to the Professor Henry who came up with the idea of this forum. It's really brilliant and much needed initiative. As it is so inspiring to see former students sharing with us their experiences. My question is for the first speaker, Hamza. You said that you were not pre-selected to pass or to sit for the teaching exam. And as far as I know, the only advantages we have as graduates is that we don't go through the pre-selection phase. So can you elaborate more?
Next, Manan Hatem.
Hello everyone. I would first to thank all the speakers for this sharing. My question is for Hamza. Our teaching job in Vietnam easy to find for non-native speakers because I have searched and most of the job offers seem to ask for native speakers. And another question, what are the requirements to teach English in Vietnam? Thank you.
Next, Anas, please. Quiet.
Yes. For sure.
application regarding documentation, right? Okay. You're much welcome.
I remind you, the audience, to be please quiet so we can hear everyone clearly. Thank you. Next one to ask a question is Mus'ab.
Hello everyone, I hope you are fine and doing well. So I'm very happy to have this spectacular event. So for you, Aya, when you were presenting, I felt like you were describing my state basically. So my question is, how, is it going to be suitable to apply for jobs abroad or stay here? And you are the only source or the only hope for your family. You feel like that you are the only thing that is going to turn the night into light. So this is my question. Thank you.
Yusra, ask the first question to Ariel.
So, about transitioning from English studies to international business management, first, it's not only this, it's not the transition in studies, it's also the culture. It's you flying away from your family, it's you being alone while you are used to being with plenty of people, eating with them, talking to them, or just existing next to each other. So this is the first transition. The second transition is moving from Morocco to England. It was a very big culture shock because I used to imagine England as a village, as I see it in American movies. I thought it's only small houses, maybe farms, but it was a very big culture shock. There were high buildings, main corporate offices of plenty of companies. So this is number 2. Number 3 is racism. So we can say that luckily I don't look much Arab. So all my friends suffered from racism, and even me, when they knew I am Moroccan, sadly, people who lack awareness, they have a bad image about Moroccan women, which is wrong, and it's because of lack of awareness. So this is number 3. And then you have number 4, which is existing in a new culture as a female, especially if you are attractive or without being attractive, because sometimes I would look very messy and you will suffer from harassment. So there is nothing as, oh, being no, we are all human beings, we are all the same. And then you have the shift in education. So to let you know, the professors in there aren't as qualified as the professors we have in here. So the only difference is that in there they have the right tools, like big screens and everything they need. In here we don't have enough tools. And answering your question about transitioning from English studies to business, it's like everything. It's like transitioning from baccalaureate to bachelor degree. We didn't know about phonetics, we didn't know how to actually write a paragraph. So you just learn it via the process. You have YouTube, you have Google, now we have ChatGPT. So it was the easiest thing for me. And they have a support system. You will have student welfare, if you feel not motivated, if you feel lazy, so they are ready to take care of your mental health. You have career team, they support you while applying to jobs, making your resume. So I believe that's the least scary thing in the process. Yeah. Did I answer your question? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayla. Next question asked by Sheila, addressed to Suhail. Suhail?
Right, certainly. Yeah, so I believe the first question was in terms of the female, how is life in Asian countries or in China in general? So I do not know about other Asian countries since I've never been there or not yet been there. However, in China, it is absolutely safe for both girls and boys. Girls can go out anytime they want, night, during the day. There is nothing such as harassment or theft or someone would come talk to you in a bad way for anyone, at all. Like the rumors they had about China is safe, and those are not true. That's a fact. There is no robbery, no theft, nothing like that. Simply because anywhere you go, you see cameras or police. Cameras and police. That is all. So for female, it is very safe. In terms of challenges for teaching, there is no distinction between a female or male. As long as you're good, as long as you're professional, if you have a good level and a good mastery of teaching, you work well and normal. I hope that I answered your question as a result.
Next question by Manal, also addressed to Suhail and Walid, sorry. Walid?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, so I believe the question was regarding the visa requirement. So as soon as you find a job or a sector who can sponsor your visa, you get an invitation letter. Then normally you need an invitation letter. You need a bachelor's degree. If your bachelor's degree is not in English, you will need a C1 proficiency certificate. Normally they ask for IELTS, but there is another online website that you can use to get a proficiency certificate, and it is acceptable here. And yeah, I believe that is all. So you need a center to sponsor your invitation or your visa. You need an invitation letter. You need a bachelor's degree, and you need a proficiency certificate. And that is all for the visa requirements.
Next one to ask a question, Marwa, addressed to Anas.
Thank you. So I think Ms. Marwa asked me about, first of all, difficulties applying, getting a job in Vietnam. I would rank applying and securing a job in Vietnam as on the lower difficulty side compared to most other countries actually. Vietnam, we already have an advantage that we have a professional BA in educational sciences, in addition to the fact that our school sounds good when you translate it to English. It's the higher institution of education and training. It's not SF, which is very appealing to Viets because they're not very familiar with academic careers. So whenever they see the higher institution, that's for them supreme, highest level you can study in the field. So occupation and getting a job, it's easy. We're already exempt from the C1, as Suhail already mentioned. Just the fact that our modules are taught 100% in English, except for ICT, that already takes care of the C1 certificate and English proficiency diploma. In addition to that, we don't need a teaching license or a TEFL training, which most other BAs are required to at least have 120 hours TEFL training to join Vietnam. Vietnamese workforce. That's just according to their labor law. You are required to have a BA, C1 English proficiency if your modules of your BA are not taught solely in English, then a teaching license or 120 hours of TEFL training or TESOL minimum. But we are exempt from that with our BA. In addition to that, you are not required to be an actually good teacher. Most of the teachers you will meet in Asia, not just in Vietnam, anything outside of China, you can be surprised that they barely speak English. No offense. But China is very strict. You have to have as close of an accent to a native one, even better. But in Vietnam, you're just going to be teaching, speaking and listening, so only oral skills. You're not going to be teaching, you're not expected to teach grammar, nor are you expected to teach writing. that's only for the Vietnamese and local teachers. For us, they pay premium. We get paid 6 to 10 times as much as a local teacher. And most people in Vietnam are low income. The average income is like $200, USD, USD a month. And that's for a teacher or a police officer. Like they barely make $200 a month. But you are expected to only teach speaking and make the students more comfortable, producing oral language or English, the target language, and speaking the target language. Would I advise? Yeah, I'll definitely recommend looking at Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, South Korea, Japan, and China. All for different reasons. I don't want to take too much time, but if you want to ask about any of them, just raise your hand. Concerning Vietnam, which is my main experience, I would recommend it if you are willing to go experience a beautiful culture, meet some of the nicest people you're ever going to meet, but I wouldn't recommend it if you're a bit of an introvert, because you have to be extroverted just to go to Southeast Asia. Just the fact that we look different, expect phones to be pointed at you wherever you go. When you go to a cafe, everyone is in your face. They're not going to touch you, but they don't respect personal space. In addition to that, I would recommend that you get an agent. And I know a couple agencies that are reliable. Just make sure you get an agent because Vietnam is full of risky and scammy centers. Like one of the guys mentioned with his first couple of months with his first teaching experience. I also witnessed way too many instances of that happening to way too many different nations, not just Moroccans. But as Moroccans, you should expect to get paid in a small village or a main city in Vietnam, 12 to 1,500 USD a month for 100 hours total. But in the main cities, you should aim for 1,600 minimum. But you can make way more. Yeah, that was my answer. I hope I answered your question. If you have anything else, I would love to help out. Thank you.
Moving on to our fifth question, asked by Suhaila and addressed to Hamza.
I'm back. So the second question is a quick one. Présélection. Yeah, we were promised that. Unfortunately, I applied in 2021 and last year, 2024, didn't get even pre-selected, knowing that my marks are all pretty decent. And I'm 25 now, so I'm still way below the age limit. And I applied in 2021 when I was 22 years old. Not barely 22 years old. Never even got to take the rest exam. I don't know why. Just don't expect to be exempt from pre-selection because I wasn't accepted, Abiba wasn't accepted, everyone I know was accepted. Almost everyone. Yeah, so that's what's hope. I hope I got it.
Due to time limits, we will move directly to the last question. Asked by Mus'ab, addressed to
about what Hamza previously said, that some people weren't really accepted. Honestly, it's kind of the opposite that's happened in my generation. Most of the people who study in SF got accepted, not typically because they're from SF, but because they worked hard. We can say it's also, there's always like a percentage for working hard and a percentage for hard. Now going back to Mus'ab's question, he asked me about what is the right option, whether to stay with your family or go travel abroad and work. Is this a question? In my environment back then, there were lots of fights in the family. It wasn't good for me mentally, so I had to go separate myself, heal, and make as much money as I can so I can send. And even after, you need to know that even after 1 year in UK, I can hardly manage to send the money because you rent لكذا مليون ماكلة تتلفز مبعث إلى سبيس إلى تيكون فلكس والحليب وعاد باش تسكريهم هما ومن قصة تجمع فلوس ديال الفيزا فهمتي كيكونوا بزاف ديال responsibilities يعني if you are willing to send الوالدين الفلوس it will be after maybe 1 year and a half or 2 years you can send some during this phase ولكن not that much بالنسبة لي some هي 2000 درهم I'm not sure if it's enough for them or not so yes it's your choice so it's about how you manage your time how you manage your emotions make sure not to get burnt out or there is nothing as failure دايما كاين solution إذا ما كاينش شيء ثاني كليكم تدخلوا البوست كليكم تدخلوا السياحة كليكم تدخلوا translation كاين بزاف ديال options so go for them ما تخليوش تشوفوا غير من بلاصة صغيرة اللي تاني that's all
Before we move to the next panel, we still have 2 questions. First, Madam, your question was addressed to.
No. Madam, can you raise your hand? So your question was about non-native English speakers offers in Vietnam and requirements. So in China, technically, it's illegal when you cannot get a proper work permit for an English language teaching job unless you are a native English speaker, which is US, Canadian, American Canadian, British, South African, and sometimes Nigerian. Arguably Nigerian. But in Vietnam, the requirements are way lower. You can have a BA in any field of study. You can have a BA in arts, philosophy, anything, healthcare, as long as you have C1 or C2 even, if you can get it, certificate, and TESOL, or you have our BA, all our modules taught in English, and it's a professional BA in education, so it exempts us from both requirements, which is one of the only good things about our degree outside of our studies. The quality of our studies is way higher than most people even need. Offers start usually around late July, early August on Facebook. The system in Vietnam is so random and so primitive, you're not even going to believe it as you're doing it, because I don't believe it and I've done it 3 years now. You apply on Facebook, you take an interview on Zoom, they just look at you. If you can just pronounce very decently and you can teach ABCs and numbers, you're good to find most jobs in Vietnam. Just remember, in a province in the mountains, ask for 13, 14 bucks an hour, you get 100 hours a month. That's 1,314, which is more than enough. Not expenses in Vietnam, way lower than ours. I had like my house, it's 5 stories and it's way less than an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Kingston. Yeah, so, and I got the biggest, highest, cleanest house in my district, plus it's furnished. Yeah, that's about it. If you have any other questions, thank you.
Last question by NS addressed to Sumay.
Basically, it depends, like on each university that you want to apply for. Is it like for a master or for a bachelor degree? Basically, for a master, the documentation aren't like very difficult, like the usual. Our degree translated with your score record of all the semesters and your bachelor degree. And that's it. They are not like very demanding. It depends. And that's it. I hope I answered your question. It's like because it depends on each university. Some might like ask for others, some they might not. So that's it. Thank you.
The question where he asked about, for those of us who don't have Elsa's brother as a companion, what could we do? There are two ways. I think look on your own, or you would apply with an agency. Some agencies require a lot of money, however some are good and they don't require a lot. But for looking on your own, you would have to find websites, because every university has a different website. Because some years they have different masters. For example, the university here at NSF studying in, they don't have masters in education this year. So there was only us and it's stopped. So maybe in the next couple of years they will reopen again. Or I think they're working generation by generation. They finish one generation and then they reopen. Unfortunately, you have to either do it by yourself, go look everywhere you can, and if you're thinking about applying, I'm not sure what you study, which grade you're in. If you're in S5 or S6, I think, you should start looking now, today, because many universities are open. They will close in a week or 2 weeks, something like that, because this is the time when they apply to track. So unless it's your second year in ESET, then you can. For those of you who are planning on coming to Asian countries, generally the application time is right now. Way before you finish S6 and way before you get your BA. Thank you.
Close and give the floor to the next man. Yes,
Before giving the floor to the next panel speakers, I want to give one word to someone she loves.
Yes. So I would love to thank my mom. So I'll switch للدارجة. ماما هي اللي دفعت للأسف ماشي أنا وهي اللي أخذت سنين البروفيسورز. she's here. Hi. ماما وفعلا هي اللي أخذت
Let's now give the floor to the next panel speakers.
Apologies everyone, I have to give a disclaimer. For those applying for jobs in Asia, most of Asia is full of scammers. So remember, use an agent or take responsibility for your actions. Because everyone tries to scam you in most places in Asia, or Southeast Asia basically. From Thailand, we got hundreds of Moroccans now still in prison and smuggled to work for call centers in Burma, to just scams in Vietnam. It happens everywhere in the world, so just be careful, be wary, study the center, talk to people who work there or have worked there before, and be safe.